Of today's event. So, if you are watching in the Zoom lobby, come on in. Maybe you're watching from Facebook or YouTube. Say hi in the comments, say hi in the chat, and tell us where you're joining us from. So, this is the second webinar in today's event called AI for Inclusion. We're trying to join two very now topics and talk about them both. So, we're going to start very soon with session number two. Session number two is called Using AI to Create Opportunities for All Learners. And I'm joined today by Katherine Reilly. Hi, Katherine. How are you?
Hi, Melissa. It's such a pleasure to be with you here again. I see so many familiar faces and
Great.
teachers, colleagues from all around the world. It's amazing.
Yes, fantastic. So welcome back, Catherine. Catherine was with us last year as well. But the topic today is AI and inclusion. So today, Catherine's going to talk about how to use AI to meet the needs of all learners. Stay tuned for that. First of all, I'll introduce Catherine to our audience because you might not have met her before. She is a teacher working in Greece, and she specializes in training teachers in inclusive teaching methodologies and adaptations for diverse educational materials. And she teaches teachers and young learners. She works for the magazine ELT News and regularly writes articles. Um, so she is, yeah, I think the perfect person to come today and tell us how she's been using AI in her classroom. So, I think we're nearly ready to start. Catherine, if you're ready, I'll pass over to
Definitely.
you.
Yes, thank you so much, Melissa, for the wonderful
Great.
introduction. Okay, everyone, I see so many friends and colleagues and people from all around the world. Everyone is saying hi, and I'm overwhelmed with joy. And I would like to start by sharing my presentation with everyone. We have so many wonderful things to talk about. And since our topic is about I would like to start with some breaking news. Now, I read this a few weeks ago and I was so surprised. China makes AI education mandatory in schools starting September 2025. The new policy requires at least 8 hours of AI education every year for students at all levels, including kids as young as 6. This is amazing. Now, as you all understand, technology is progressing at a rapid rate, and we, the teachers, have an obligation to keep up with the times and do our best to cater to our students' educational needs. Having said this, let's start off with our presentation. What is artificial intelligence? Well, the simple answer would be to say machine systems trained to mimic human intelligence. Okay. Now, I have a colleague who many a time tells me that I'm both intrigued and intimidated by AI. So I would like to ask you, the audience, my friends and colleagues, what are your feelings about AI? Feel free to write in the chat or comments. And to be honest, some of my colleagues keep telling me, Catherine, I'm afraid of artificial intelligence. Okay, I can see some comments here. Great tool, feeling comfortable, great helper, amazed. There's so many and they're flowing so fast I can't even read them. I think I caught one, helpful but cautious. I couldn't see who wrote it, but thank you. And yes, we should be cautious of any kind of educational tool that we use because AI can be used as an educational tool, and it should be. Okay, thank you so much. Having said this, our presentation will be split into 4 segments. The theoretical aspect of AI for inclusion in ELT, some tools and precautions that I would like to share with you, real life classroom examples. Now, everyone, I am privileged to be working in a school in Athens, which is a multicultural hub of various traditions and cultures. So, this amalgamation of unique experiences is what makes AI the most crucial element in teaching such classes. And of course, we will all examine together some cases for applying AI. Now, before we say anything else, I would like to refer to some ethical considerations. Before using any AI tools, make sure that the relevant people, learners, parents, and school communities know you're using this tool, and encourage students not to share any personally identifiable data while using them. Some tools may collect data and some may have age restrictions. For example, ChatGPT requires that children ages 13 to 18 obtain parental consent before using it. Find out what you can about each tool before using it. I highly recommend you do this before using any kind of AI app in your classes. Now, we briefly touched upon the age restrictions and the data privacy. Yes, I know what you're going to tell me. What about over-reliance on AI and some cases of bias? We will be referring to this later on in the presentation, don't worry. Now, at this point, I am going to talk about AI for inclusive ELT. However, I want your feedback. How often do you use AI in your classes? Let's see in the chat or the comments. So, because I use it almost every day, depending on the lesson and what I want. Okay, I can see frequently, always, occasionally. I have some rarely, sometimes, but I can see that the majority uses it a lot. Lesson planning, very good. Okay, I saw never 5%. I'm very happy that I saw never and 5%. Maybe I can change your mind today and we can actually use it for some good to help promote the educational needs of our students. Now, let's go back to the presentation. And thank you once again for your feedback. Now, AI usage. I was looking for some research on how much AI is used in ELT language teaching. I couldn't find anything. However, I did find research that had to do with students in general education that globally use AI. So, what do you think? How many students, the percentage of students globally that use AI in general education? What do you people think? I know that I'm going to see some crazy numbers, so please feel free to share in the chat. 90%, 80, 75. Okay, I can see a lot of numbers. Oh my God, it's flowing like crazy. This is amazing. Very good. Okay, now I'm going to help out by saying that are you ready for this? It's 86% in general education. I do hope that we have an ELT research on AI quite soon. Now, we're talking about the students. What about us, the educators, the teachers? How many of us do you think use AI for our classes? This is something that is very intriguing that I'd like to see. So let me see the numbers. Let's see, 20, 30, 45%, 60. I saw an 80, 95. That would be fantastic. Below 40%. Okay, I see so many numbers flowing. Thank you for your participation. Now, I'm going to show you the result. It's 51%, barely above half, which is great. And these are the percentages for 2024. 2025 is still going on. We'll see next year what's the percentage for teachers. Having said this, I'm going to answer the question, what is inclusive teaching? Now, the short answer, if I wanted to say what is inclusive teaching, it's an educational approach that removes any barrier so we can embrace all learners. Now, this is a simple answer because inclusive education is not that simple. If we were to ask ourselves what inclusion looks like, this is what inclusion looks like. And yes, I wish I had all the time in the world to analyze each and every one of these learners. So we're talking about inclusion as regards disability, neurodiversity, special educational needs, multilingualism, gender identity, anything that belongs to the spectrum of LGBTQI, race, ethnicity, socioeconomic background, inclusive participation, because every voice counts. Learning preferences. I didn't write learning skills. I would like to ask our wonderful moderator to share a link from Teaching English British Council that has to do with learning preferences and not learning skills. It's a very interesting article you can find on our website. It's worth reading. And finally, universal design for learning. We want accessible resources for all our learners. How are we going to do this? I know it sounds highly difficult to do this, but trust me, with AI, everything is possible. Now, why AI and inclusion? Because here's an example of a diverse class of learners. Tell me if this example reflects one of your classes. There are learners in our classes with diverse abilities, multilingual learners, and so many more elements. And yes, we are one teacher. We can't do everything on our own. And the thing is that our textbooks cater to specific needs. We have to tailor to the materials to the needs of the students, but this takes time. Now, thanks to AI, we have this. We have solutions to all their needs, and we can tailor the materials to their educational needs. And this is what we call equity through customization. This is what we want. Okay, enough with the theory. I would just like to point out four things to bear in mind before I start explaining the tools that I use in my class. Yes, it does enhance the learning experience through multiple venues. Secondly, we support diverse educational needs as we just saw. Personalized learning. Is it a private lesson? Do you want to focus on a specific student in class? Do you want to focus on all students in various different ways? It is possible with AI. And finally, for us, the teachers, yes, I'm happy to say it's a reduced workload. Now, I would like to ask you, the audience, for what purpose do you use AI? Please answer in the chat. And I usually use it because I want to focus on specific learners and to cater to their needs. Many a time, I have students that tell me that they have difficulties with a specific element of the lesson, and I use AI, and with a click of a button, I can actually help them absorb the materials much more efficiently. Now I can see here lesson planning, grammar, writing, practicing speaking. Yes, there's so many things, creative ideas, critical thinking. Thank you, everyone. Rubrics, activities, wonderful. And I love the feedback that I'm getting here. It's amazing. It's amazing. Constructing resource material, wonderful. Now, let's get back to our wonderful presentation here. Let's see. Now, I would like to add something before I talk about the tools that I use. A personal disclaimer, if you wish. The tools that I present here in the session are the ones that I personally use to enhance my lesson. For the purposes of this webinar, I tried to use tools that are simple to use for those of you who have never used AI, tools that have been used by people who are more experienced with AI, and hopefully these are things that we can adapt in our class. Now, I'm not affiliated with the developers, nor do I promote them for financial gain. They can be used by both educators and students alike, and it is essential that we, the educators, instruct our students in using them properly. Now, let me share my presentation again. Yes, we're going to be having a lot of back and forth now through the apps and the programs. Let's see now. I decided to start with ChatGPT. Yes, you're all aware of ChatGPT. You know, most of you, I hope, that this is an AI chatbot that supports learners with brainstorming, organizing ideas, producing clear, structured writing. Yes, I use it for writing. Of course, you can use it for so many more things. But I wanted to focus on something specific here that you might find interesting. This is an activity for both beginners and experienced educators alike. I hope it can help you. Now, students who struggle with brainstorming ideas or are struggling with the writing outline of an essay can benefit from this. Before I continue, I just want to point out that we have a wonderful handout with all the links of all the apps that I'm going to present today. Here's the link here, and it also is available in the handout. Now, allow me to stop sharing this, and I'm going to use my browser. And I'm going to share my browser right away. Here we go. And I'm going to start using ChatGPT. So here we are. And here is my ChatGPT. You just have to use your personal email, a Google Gmail, to enter ChatGPT. Now, what I did in order to save some time, everyone, I decided to enter this query before this webinar, just so that I have everything ready and I wouldn't waste a lot of time typing. So as you can see here in the shared screen, this is the environment of ChatGPT. In the search bar here, I entered, I need a B1 level writing task about the pros and cons of AI. Can you produce the topic for my students to write? So ChatGPT said, sure, here's a B1 level writing task on the topic of AI, designed to suit intermediate learners. Okay, wonderful. I have it in front of me. Topic, the advantages and disadvantages of artificial intelligence. It has the instructions. Write an essay, 100 to 120 words. Great, I could copy this and give it to my students. They can write me the essay. Now, I didn't though. Why? Because you still have to guide the AI. It says here, explain what AI is in simple words, mention two advantages. Okay, it has daily life, work, or education. Then it says mention two disadvantages, and it doesn't give me any. That's kind of suspicious and kind of intimidating, to say the least. Now, say what your opinion is. And after that, it asked me, would you like a model answer? No, of course, I don't want a model answer. I want my students to write it. But I did ask the AI, could you please offer suggestions for a few drawbacks of AI? Of course, and that's where the AI produced 5 wonderful drawbacks. Okay, now after this, it says, would you like me to simplify any of these further? I said no, and I don't want him to turn it into sentence starters because I want my students to be creative. But I did ask for a writing outline. Now, I'd like to say that some of my students have an issue with organizing their thoughts. They're very proficient at speaking the English language, but they have problem with the structure. Other students, on the other hand, have issues with producing ideas, even though their structure is perfect. So this is why I use ChatGPT. Now, it did produce a writing outline for me. It's wonderful. Paragraph 1, introduction. Start with a simple definition. What is AI? And it also has an example sentence. Now, this is where things get tricky. I don't want my students to copy the whole example sentence. So what I could do, I could ask the AI to remove the examples, or if I copy paste it in a Word document to show on my whiteboard, I'll just remove them myself. So it's as simple as that. And this is one way of doing it. Just asking the ChatGPT AI to produce a writing outline or ask for ideas to help them with their critical thinking. Now, let's go back to our presentation. And yes, we'll be having a lot of back and forths with our presentation here. Now, the second tool that I would like to talk to you about is actually 2 tools. The first tool has to do with grammar, spelling, tone, and clarity. This is Grammarly. Another tool which is quite similar is Quillbot for paraphrasing, grammar checking, and of course, summarization. And it has features to improve writing efficiency. Now, I use these tools to help my students when it has to do with grammar. It's good for students that want to improve their grammar, syntax, or struggle to understand texts. And I'm going to do a demonstration with both of them. So here are the links. You can also find them in the handout. Allow me to stop sharing. Let's go back to my browser. But before I go back to my browser, I asked one of my students to help me out with his webinar. So let me share a writing task here. Here we go. This was written by one of my students. It is an A2 level student according to the CFR, and it's called My Trip to the Mountains. I purposely asked my student to have 2 or 3 mistakes. Last weekend, I go to the mountains with my family. We drive for 3 hours. You get the point, okay? So I'm going to copy the whole text. Control C. I'm going to stop sharing this. I will go to my Google Chrome, Google Chrome browser. Just give me a second to find it because I have a lot of windows open right now and it's starting to get a little confusing. Okay, here we are, share, and I will, because I have a bookmark here, I'm going to visit Grammarly. Let's start with Grammarly. Now, pardon me, in order to use Grammarly, you need to enter your credentials or connect with your Gmail account. I used my Gmail account. And at the beginning, the first screen, you're going to see 2 options, new document or upload file. I could have uploaded the file, but I just copied the text. So I'm going to start a new document. I'm clicking on new document, and here in the screen that's going to open before you, it says type or paste your text here. Okay, I'm going to paste the text I copied. Now, it asks me, what kind of audience is it? General, knowledgeable, expert, formality, is it informal, neutral, formal? I'm going to leave it as it is. And you can also click on a few more options. I'm going to click on done for now. And what does the AI do? It automatically finds the mistakes. This is quite interesting. And of course, it has some suggestions. Now, it gives the student an overall score. The student can see what kind of mistakes the student made. It has corrections for the mistakes underneath. And this is a wonderful tool that can help the student with perfecting the grammar. I'm going to use the same text for the other application. So I'm going to Quillbot. Both tools are great. I'll let you decide which one you want to use most. Now, just the same, you enter with your Gmail account, your credentials, and in the first page here, there are a lot of writing tools that you can use. I'm going to click on Grammar Checker. So I click Grammar Checker. We have a similar environment with Quillbot. It says paste text or upload document. I'm going to paste the text directly into the window before us. Here we go. And as I paste the text here, the AI is starting to work. It gives us an overall score of 65 out of 100. It found 5 grammar suggestions, correcting the mistakes. And as we can see, it will actually propose better ways of doing it. These are tools the students can use, of course, under our supervision to guide them in correcting mistakes. And these are just some of the features that these programs have, but these are the ones that I use, simple and to the point. Now, let's go back to our presentation, and I have to find it somewhere here. Okay, let's look at something different, everyone. Now, I know you probably have a lot of questions. You can save them for the end for our Q&A. Now, the next part has to do with speaking. Now, not a lot of people use AI tools for speaking. I used 2 of them, and after a lot of trial and error, I started collaborating with my students on the proper use. One tool is Elsa Speak. This is something that you can use on your phones. It is an AI-powered English pronunciation coach that provides real-time feedback to help users improve their speaking skills. Another one that I use a lot, and I'll have a demonstration for both, is Google's Read Along. This one can be used both on the phone and the desktop, and it's a speech-based reading tutor app. Even though it's in a beta phase, it has a plethora of reading activities. It even has reading comprehension. And it has elements of gamification as you get awards from each successful pronunciation ride. Now, I am going to share 2 demonstrations, one from each program. I'll let you judge which ones you think are best. And these are video recordings I did on my phone. I can't do a live presentation because it will mix up the microphones with our Zoom browser, so I think this is the best way to do it. Now, let's see where my videos are. We will share this browser with sound, and here we go. I'm going to full screen the video, and I will click on play. Now, this is what you would see on Elsa Speak. You have the selection of course. There are so many courses here: planning a trip to Paris, culinary delights around the world, polish your pronunciation with exotic locations, culture in Japan. There are so many lessons tailored to the CFR. And as we see, the screen is loading, and
A tropical adventure.
you have the student hear the AI, and then the student repeats what the student just heard. Okay, now, after you repeat, you get feedback if you wish. Obviously, I spoke into the microphone of my phone while I was having the screen record. You can't hear my voice. And my pronunciation was 99% correct. Now, if you tap here to view feedback, it actually tells you which vowels to stress more and how to improve your pronunciation. This is a tool that the students can use on their own or under the supervision of the teacher. What the tool
A wonderful experience.
You go on to the next expression, and the student actually puts all the expressions together, and you create this huge conversation. Now, there are icons.
Exploring a tropical adventure can be a wonderful experience.
Okay, now, the thing is that you also have a snail icon for the student to hear it much slower. It offers you feedback, what to stress more. It's a wonderful tool that is worth checking out. Now, yes, you can pay to have a permanent premium subscription, but it offers you a few free lessons every day. Let's go to another application, the one I mentioned earlier. This is called Google Read Along. I love this one so much. Let me put it in full screen. It has a lot of stories inside. You have this little assistant here, the girl, that you can tap on her. Now, there are 4 levels as far as I know. Levels 1 to 4, you have phonics, you have the alphabet, you have CLIL elements of culture, math, science, and so many wonderful stories. Now, if you want, you can start reading a story, continue where you left off, and I chose one story that I like very much, My Very Own Scooter. So as you tap the icon, My Very Own Scooter, here is the More Info button for the attribution for everyone to see. I purposely made 2 mistakes. I pronounced Adam incorrectly and round. So as I spoke and dictated orally the text, I got stars for all the words except the 2 ones over there. You can tap the icon of the girl and she will give you instructions on how to better pronounce it. It's a wonderful and fun tool, and the stories are actually really great. They're worth checking out. You get stars, which are points. You have reading comprehension, critical thinking questions, and it's free. So this is something that I highly recommend you check out. It's in a beta phase. You can use it on your desktop or your phone, and there are so many stories that you can go through. Okay, let me close a few windows because I don't want the whole system to start lagging here. Okay, now let us go back to our presentation. I apologize for the back and forth, but as you understand, we have a lot of applications that we're opening. And I would like to move on to the next segment of our presentation. Now, this one here is Google's Docs voice typing. I also have a case study with this that we're going to talk about later on, but it's a free browser-based speech-to-text tool that lets students speak their ideas and have them instantly transcribed. I've tried it. It's amazing. So everything you say will actually be transcribed on the stop. Now, it says here, who would benefit? Well, I'd say that everyone who is feeling apprehension about making mistakes, spelling, grammar, syntax, they will actually find this much helpful because some students are more effective at speaking orally than in a written fashion. And this will help them, get rid of this fear. Now, we will visit Google Docs, and you need a Gmail account to enter it. Let's see here. I'm going to share my Google Docs session here. Share, click, and here we are. Okay. Google Docs. Now, I'm going to start with a blank document. You click on a blank document, and after that, you go to the toolbar here. It says Tools. You click on Tools, and you then click on Voice Typing. Once you click on voice typing, a microphone will appear. You click on the microphone and everything you orally dictate will be written in the document. It even accepts punctuation marks. So if you say comma, it will actually add a comma. You say full stop, it'll actually add a full stop, exclamation mark, everything. It's a wonderful tool. It doesn't make mistakes. Now, obviously, I won't click on voice typing because my microphone will disconnect from the Zoom and go into the app and you won't be able to hear me. But this is how you enter it. It's very easy. Thank you for all the hearts. I do appreciate it. It's my only way of knowing that you like the application. Very simple applications, but they really, oh, thank you for all the hearts. I can see hundreds of hearts now. Thank you, everyone. Okay, now let's see something else. Oh, yes. Let's share the presentation again. I have something really wonderful for everyone to view here right now. Okay, here is the presentation. Oh my God, the hearts are keep flowing. Thank you for your love, everyone. I love you too. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. It means the world to me. Okay, now, um, and the hearts keep on going. This is funny. Thank you. All right, now, what about special educational needs? I love this part because I actually have two students, no, let's say three students, one just finished, but in total, as I was doing my research, I have three students and they helped me so much with these projects. I'm grateful to them. We tried a few apps and they are diagnosed with dyslexia. Beeline Reader. Visit the site beelinereader.com. This app, which is actually a plugin for your browser, uses color gradients, a dyslexic font, and specialized viewing mode to improve writing and fluency and focus. Now, who would benefit? Students who have been diagnosed with dyslexia or ADHD. You visit the site, you can watch a demonstration, and you can add the plugin to your browser. Now, I would like to show you, I have an idea. I'm going to use, let's see. Yes, I'm going to use our official, let's see, web page right now. Here we go. This is going to be really fun, guys. It's going to be really fun. Now, let's click here where we have the plugins, and I'm going to click on Beeline Reader. So this little window pops open, and I'm going to scroll down in our official website page, and I want you to see if you see anything different. Look at the colors of the sentences. Have they changed? Yes, they've changed color. This actually helps students focus more on specific sentences as they read along. I asked my students, I remember two of them said it does help them, the third one not that much. If you click over here, settings, we can see that there are some more options. There's a button here that says focus mode. If you click on focus, look at what happens. It blurs the paragraphs above and below the text that we are focusing on, thus helping the student focus more on what we have before us. And there's also another button about the dyslexic font. Now, I'm not a specialist at dyslexia. However, I do have a very good friend. She's a colleague that is specialized and she has helped me very much with this. So if you click on it, the font changes. Now, dyslexic fonts, everyone, are specially designed to support readers with dyslexia by using unique features such as clear spacing, distinct letter shapes, and heavier bottoms to minimize letter reversal. Now, these fonts include thickened characters and punctuation marks, as well as extended lines to help users identify the beginnings and end of sentences more easily. There have been studies saying that it hasn't helped all learners with dyslexia, maybe just to a degree. I asked my students, they told me it does help them. And according to the British Dyslexia Association, it's recommended that we use fonts such as Arial or Comic Sans. It does actually help the students. Okay, so I hope you find this tool useful. And let us go back to the presentation. And I have something else for everyone to check out. Okay, Magic School. I love this application. It has to do with inclusive education through differentiated instruction. Now, why I chose Magic School? It supports universal design for learning principles, task variation, culturally responsive content that reflects students' backgrounds and cultures, thus building belonging and representation in the class. I really want to show you this. This is amazing. So, I'm really excited about this one. I'm going to share a document, and this is a B1 level essay written by one of my students. We'll call her Chamsi. It's my presentation the Panangbunya, I hope I pronounced it correctly, the Panangbunya Festival. Hello everyone, today I will talk about a famous festival from the Philippines. It's called the Panangbunya Festival, and so on and so on. Okay, so it's a little essay here. And my student describes her personal feelings. I'm going to copy this text and Control C. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going back to my browser. Let's share the browser and it's here. Here we go. And I'm going to the website of Magic School. Now, this website, this AI app, actually has so many tools, it's overwhelming. It literally is overwhelming. There's so many things that you can discover on your own. I'm going to use one application. I'm going to the search tools, and I'm going to click on presentation generator, clicking on that, and we're going to make a presentation for my student who wrote this essay to present to her whole class. Sixth grade, let's say number of slides 5. And here I'm going to, it says topic, standard, content, or objective. I'm going to paste her writing essay. Okay, I can add additional criteria. I'm not going to do it now. And I'm going to click on generate. Check this out. Now, the AI is working on her presentation. What is beautiful about this is that it is adding culturally responsive top elements and content to this presentation. It is promoting diverse content of culture, elements, and enriching it and taking it to the next level. Look at this, started in 1995 to help city recover from earthquake. Wow, my student didn't write this, but the AI actually took the information of my student and integrated all this wonderful content. You can take all of this, it's 5 slides with a plethora of information. The student can use this in a presentation in a PowerPoint. The student can add pictures, images, and you can also add questions. The app actually adds questions to ask the audience. It's amazing. You just click on export slides. You can read it aloud. You can edit it. And you have this incredible presentation in any kind of format that you want. I wish I can focus more on this, but I'm running out of time. So I have to move on, everyone. Now, let's go back to the presentation. I know I'm receiving a lot of comments, but I haven't seen them yet. I will soon. Let's see. Okay. Now, real life classroom examples. I'm going to share some wonderful examples of my students. I've changed the names. My students are the best part of my life. They have supported me. I'm not going to turn this into an over emotional presentation, but a lot of my kids helped me with this webinar, and I'm proud that they're watching it right now. I I am very grateful to their assistance because what you're viewing today is thanks to their feedback. Ekam. Ekam is a multilingual student with a rich cultural background. His his mother, I think, is from India and his father's from Thailand. And he's faced a lot of challenges with writing fluency and self-confidence. He has a short stature. Kids bully him a lot. And he also has this traditional hair bun. And there are a lot of people who make fun of him. So for this reason, he is often hesitant to participate in class discussions. He is a victim of bullying. Now, how did he use AI for his presentation? Because I asked them one day to do a presentation about something about their culture or tradition, anything. So Ekam wrote a short text about Diwali, the Indian Festival of Lights. He then used AI to help him check the grammar and improve clarity. Afterwards, he used Magic School AI to prepare his presentation like Chamsy did earlier. And it helped him integrate culturally responsive content like the one I mentioned earlier. Ekam started shining because he was confident. He prepared this really good presentation and he stepped up, took a deep breath, and started presenting to his classmates. It was one of the best experiences all of us have ever had in class. He had confidence and he spoke in front of his classmates for the first time ever. Everyone applauded his efforts, and after that, it was the first time he started being accepted in class. Very proud of him, and thank you, AI, for making this a reality. I'm speeding a bit, but I don't have that much time. Who is Nina? Now, Nina is a student of mine, a very young learner, diagnosed with mild autism. So she rarely volunteered to speak in class, not because she didn't know the answers, but because spoken interaction often overwhelmed her. She avoided group work. Assessments caused her anxiety. So one day I asked her to write and dictate a poem. Yes, I did. Now, I'm not taking credit for this. One of my colleagues who specializes in autism told me we should do it. And it was one of the best ideas ever. We used AI to help Nina express herself. Nina didn't need to talk more. She needed to be understood. And that's how we use speech to text to draft ideas without worrying about the spelling or the structure. That's how we used Google Voice typing. With the help of me and my colleague, she sat down, started dictating into Google Docs with the voice tool. The AI assisted her in rephrasing and organizing her thoughts. So afterwards, we used ChatGPT, and we also explored different ways of expressing herself, different versions of her poem. And this happened in a no stress environment. She was happy as she was preparing her poem. And to be honest, her poem was magnificent. It came to life. And the AI actually helped her find the rhythm, but it was her poem. And when she chose to read it aloud in class, everyone listened to her with respect. And you cannot believe the standing ovation that she received. We were going crazy in class. She was smiling, I was crying, I hugged her, she hugged me. We were jumping out of joy, and this was thanks to AI. Never underestimate what an educational tool can do for your students. It is amazing. Last but not least, Martina. Now, teenage student a few years ago came out to me as non-binary, and I asked her, are you okay with me sharing this, with your classmates? And they told me that, yes, they know about me. You didn't. And I'm like, thank you for sharing this with me. Now, coming out needs a lot of strength and courage. And it was the first time that they started feeling, at ease in class. They felt comfortable expressing themselves in class. But the materials that we use, the textbooks, are not inclusive because they usually pertain to the binary roles of he, she. So one day we decided to do something to update our course books. Each one of my students took one of the dialogues, vocabulary, grammar sentences, listening scripts, and even the writing prompts, and they used AI to explore how to use more inclusive pronouns like they, them throughout the whole unit. We use ChatGPT for this. And they also learned vocabulary because we used the AI to focus on inclusive vocabulary. Instead of mankind, we focus on humankind. Policeman became police officer, etc. Now, you can only imagine how much we all learned. It became a more inclusive lesson. Martina, I mean, imagine how they reacted when they read the sentence. They ordered a coffee and sat by the window. That said it all. And for the first time, they felt that they belonged somewhere safe, and that they were heard. So it's not just about pronouns and inclusive narratives. It's about how we feel about belonging in class. And this was again thanks to AI. Now let's pause and reflect. Which students in your class could benefit most from AI? I just used 3 examples. So I would like to see a few of your ideas in the chat. How do you think that your students can benefit from this? Okay, all students, thank you, Argenis. Um, all students, all of them, all. Okay, everyone's writing all. Yes, everyone can benefit from them. Hearing impaired, thank you, because I didn't focus on this. Okay, it's flowing so fast I can't read them all. The less confident ones, yes, of course. Of course. All right, it's going so fast I can't read it. Shy students, natives, yes. Adults, okay. I still have to move forward. I don't know how much time I have left. I haven't even checked all my comments here in the chat. Okay, so Let's move on. Thank you. 15. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Naughty students. Okay. Autistic, dyslexic, ADHD. Okay. So let me reshare my presentation again. And here we are. Okay. It's a good thing I'm not fumbling the controls. Okay. Cases for applying AI. I need your help, everyone. I definitely need your help. First case. We have Ali, 15 years old, recently moved from Syria. Understands English well but avoids speaking in class. This student is afraid of making mistakes and being laughed at because of the accent. He freezes during oral tasks and is starting to disengage. Please help me, everyone. What would you do? Write some possible AI solutions in the chat and the comments. And this is where things get interesting because I don't think there are any wrong answers. Every answer is unique. It all has to do with the creativity. And of course, it's also trial and error. You try and get feedback from your students on what is best. Okay, Elsa Speak, Magic AI. Elsa Speak would definitely help, as one of our wonderful colleagues says. Very good. Google Read Along. Wonderful, wonderful. They're flowing so fast I can't even read them. Okay, wonderful. Thank you all for your input. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, let's move on. I do have some proposals here. Bear in mind that I have a handout. It's on our webpage. You'll be able to download it after the end of the session. What you just said, we have it here before us. Let's go to another student, Sophia. She's 16 years old, diagnosed with dyslexia. She has brilliant ideas but struggles with spelling and structure. She's often embarrassed to share her writing and avoids longer assignments. You want to help Sophia express herself with confidence. Please tell me, my dear colleagues, what should we do? How can we help her? What can we use in AI applications to help this wonderful student? So let's see. Okay, Google Docs. Grammarly. Grammarly to the rescue. Thank you. Quillbot. Voice typing. Wonderful. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, thank you, everyone. Beeline Reader, yes, yes. I love your ideas, and they're flowing so fast I can't even have time to read them. Last student, Amir, 14, from Pakistan, living in Greece. He notices that the textbook stories never show names of traditions or families like his. He participates but feels invisible. One day he quietly asks if you could use a story about someone more like him. What could you use? And I know that most of you are going to give me a similar response, and I'm actually happy if I do see it. Yes, Magic School, Magic School, Magic School, ChatGPT, of course. Very good. ChatGPT, Magic School, Magic School. Okay, it's flowing so fast I can't even read it. Very good. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. It's wonderful that everyone is participating. The comments are going so fast I can't even read them. Thank you. Very good, Elsa, and some more. Okay, now, at this point, I would like to stress something that is very important. I've heard some of my colleagues that want to ban AI from their classrooms. Yes, I know that some of our colleagues are disgruntled and they have been through a lot with students that produce writings that are not theirs, that are completely made on a chat AI application. I tell my colleagues to prompt it ethically, tell students that yes, they can use it. It's the future. They will use AI. That's never going to change. And I don't find any reason why we shouldn't use it, but we should tell them to prompt it ethically. Yes, I used AI for this. To compare outputs because you can find variation of outputs, some which are not even correct. That's why we should always check your resources, where you get the information from, to try to rephrase it, rewrite it in their own voice, and also see if the AI missed something, because nothing is perfect. Now, as for addressing bias, listen, everyone, AI systems are trained on biased data sets. Yes, that's true. And sometimes it may reinforce stereotypes or exclude LGBTQI identities, racial minorities, or other underrepresented groups. Now, it's up to us, the educators, to remain vigilant and always identify these biases. We should promote inclusive AI development. If something comes to our attention and it's not inclusive, you can report it to the AI developers, and they will actually immediately cater to the needs of the AI and enhance it correctly. Now, if I were to sum up everything that you learned today, please tell me, what two things have you learned from this webinar? I would like to see it in the chat comments. If there's something that you learned today, I'd be very happy to hear it from you. Okay. Yes, I can see a lot of comments, how to use the new tools, the use of AI tools, a lot. Thank you, everyone. A bow to me. I bow to you for attending this webinar and dedicating your precious time to hearing me. I do appreciate it. Oh, I see our wonderful moderator has added a link to the handout. Yes, thank you so much, Melissa. Very good. Thank you. And yes, the integration of tools. Thank you. Okay. Now, since we're running out of time, we have some goodies to share with you. Okay. Now, please check this out. Teaching English has inclusive classrooms. You should definitely check this out. I hope Melissa, the moderator, can add the links to this. Of course, you can find them online at our site, Teaching English. Now, there are so many resources, guidelines, and research. You can actually scan with your phones the QR code that you have before you. There's so many resources that you can scan through this QR code, activities for English language teaching, transforming your educational experience with AI, the guidelines you can use. There are a lot of free materials that you can access through this QR code. I hope you've had time to scan it because I'm running out of time. However, our moderator will have the links in the chat for you to click right away. Okay, yes, I should. One more second. Yes, did you scan it? Yes. Okay. All right. Now, all the AI tools I presented are in the handout. You will click the link in the PDF. It will take you right there. These are the tools I used and a few more if you want to check them out. And the references in case you want to check the resources. And this is my final gift to you. This is a book I wrote a few years ago. It is called The Show Must Go On. I wrote it to keep the memory of one of my students burning. I lost a student to cancer, and it's a topic that tackles real life health issues. It raises awareness. It's free to download. It's a self-published book. It's a free publication. You can visit my blog, katherinereilly.blog, and download it. I hope our moderator has time to share the link with you. And I would also like to thank you all for listening. It was a privilege to be heard by so many people. And thank you all for your feedback. It was incredible. Thank you all for participating in this wonderful session. Thank you all. You are amazing.
Well, we need to say thank you to you too, Catherine. Of course, thanks. I mean, that was amazing. Practical ideas, things that we can use. I think teachers are asking, send us the links. We need all the links. And yeah, I know why. So we will mention all the links in the handout. And we'll put them in the chat now as well and in the comments. So yeah, great. Thanks so much, Catherine.
I
That
can
was
see a lot of
wonderful.
hearts flowing. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many hearts.
Me too, me too. It's clear that this is what teachers need in 2025, right? We need some guidance. What's the next thing we can do with AI? We know our students are using it to write some of their essays when they shouldn't, but we're looking for ways to use AI to do good, aren't we? I think that's really important.
Yes, it is,
So,
definitely. Yes.
I first want to say, please send in your questions. We're here to answer your questions. Um, and I also want to add, lots of people have been asking, are all of these tools free? Yes,
That's a good
they
question.
all have
Some
free
of them,
versions, don't
all of them
they?
have free versions, but there are
Yeah.
some that offer premium benefits, which means that you have to
Hmm.
pay. a monthly or an annual subscription to get more features. Some have limitations per day. For example,
Hmm.
else speak, you can choose like 2 lessons per day, if I'm not mistaken, or
Hmm.
3, and it
Okay.
renews after every 24 hours. Others are completely free, some other of
Yeah.
the apps. So you just have to check
We
them out. Yeah.
Yeah, we highly recommend the free versions. The free versions,
Oh,
I
definitely,
think
definitely. I'll be honest, I use the
personally,
free versions of what I
yeah,
can.
me too. Me
Yes.
too. I mean, there's so many different tools. So yeah, definitely
I do
choose the
recommend
free
that,
version when you can.
yes, I do recommend that the teachers have a a Gmail account. It's actually
Hmm.
quite useful to log into various applications, the ones that I presented earlier. Yes.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Well, let's go to some questions. There are lots. I like this one from
Yes.
Svetlana. Svetlana asks, Catherine, tell us, please, does AI impact students' creativity?
Hmm.
Hmm. What would you say
That's
to
an
that?
interesting question. It
Mhm.
depends on how they use AI, because
Yeah.
AI can foster critical thinking. However, if they do
Hmm.
not use AI correctly and just copy the sources, it diminishes their
Mm.
critical thinking. And I think that's why it's important for us, the educators, to constantly try to guide them throughout this journey, this educational journey through AI. We should
Mm.
be by their side to instruct them and inspire them
Yeah.
to, so to speak. Yes.
Yeah, I like the example. I think it was using Magic School where
Yeah.
you can create things with AI, or the student that created the presentation. What tool did they use? I can't quite remember.
Well, I'll be honest. The student that used the presentation, first, she wrote a small essay, about 100 words,
Ah,
and then
yeah.
we took this and we put it in the presentation generator of Magic School AI.
Okay.
So it
Uh-huh.
enriched the text by adding accurate information, catering to culturally responsive content.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's great. I mean, it's taking some of the stress of trying to transfer the information to PowerPoint and kind of yeah, I think it's
It's
lots and lots
amazing
of
because
students would benefit from that.
yes,
Uh-huh.
it actually adds dates, more information, some
Yeah.
key points that the student didn't write in the writing, but the
Uh-huh.
AI actually added to the presentation, enriching the whole experience. And if we had more
Yeah.
time, I would actually click on the button. It would actually add questions that
Wow.
the student can ask her audience, okay,
Hmm.
to further stimulate their critical thinking.
Wow, I love
Yes.
it. That sounds great.
Mhm.
And I know that later on in our third session, there is another presenter going to show Magic AI, another
Oh,
component,
that's
another
great.
function. So yeah, everyone who's watching, stay tuned. Um, I've got a question that comes from one of our Facebook audience, and they ask, do you think that AI will take place of a teacher one day?
Oh boy,
What's your
as I said at
initial
the beginning of the
reaction?
presentation, yes, I remember one of my colleagues said that I'm both intrigued and intimidated by AI.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't substitute
Me
us.
too.
I really hope so it doesn't. But to be honest, yes, I will use it as a tool in class. I think it's one of the greatest
Mm.
tools that educators have ever had the privilege of using. I hope it doesn't completely substitute us. We'll see.
Me. Yeah, me neither. And I don't think it will.
I don't think
We've
so
got a
either.
lot more, we've got a lot more questions, but we're going to save them for our next event, which is on the
Yes.
7th of June. So don't worry, everyone, if you have asked a question today and we haven't had time, we are going to come back on the 7th of June at 1 o'clock UK time with both presenters from today, Catherine and Hamid, and we'll answer all of your questions about AI for inclusion. So that will be held on the British Council's Facebook page, which is teachingenglish.British Council. So go and look for that and click on the event so that you get a reminder. Well, Catherine, thank you for coming back. We've had a great time. Thanks for all your stories, all your tools, and your enthusiasm. Um,
Thank you. I'd like to
Thanks.
say thank you to you because I bombarded you with so much information and links, and you were amazing, Melissa. And thank you to the audience. I mean, their love is incredible.
Yeah, it is. Thank you so much to everyone who's participated today. Thanks to Kath and Joe and Naomi who are working behind the scenes. And
Yes.
come back in 15 minutes. We've got 3 teachers who are going to show us how they use AI in their classrooms. Thanks, Catherine. Hope to see you again soon.